Hi, this is Miles from Rhino Code Technology. This is the second video in our series on our PTX programmable remote control. This video covers common troubleshooting issues. If you've not yet viewed our first video, I suggest that you do that now. The first video covers the procedure for copying the signal from your original remote control. If you're unsuccessful in copying your remote control using the first procedure, the most common issue is that your remote control from your original product is not on the same frequency as your PTX programmable remote control. The box I have in front of me here is a frequency counter which will show us what frequency each remote control is actually transmitting on. In this case, the remote control I'm trying to copy is on 434 megahertz. Our PTX programmable remote control is factory defaulted to a frequency of 304 megahertz, as you can see here. What we will need to do to be able to copy this remote control is to actually adjust the frequency on our PTX to more closely match that of our original remote control. The way that we do this is we replace the jumper down near the battery on our PTX, so we're back in the learning mode step of our procedure. Again, if I show you here, we press and hold the button on the original remote, we press the button on our PTX, you'll see that the green LED does not come on, and that is the first thing we need to rectify. What we need to do now is put our remote controls again side by side on a timber table, preferably, and what we need to do is press and hold down a button on the PTX while simultaneously pressing and holding down a button on our original remote control. We then, using our tuning tool, adjust the frequency tuning capacitor in the top right hand corner of our remote control by gently turning the screw clockwise and anti-clockwise back and forth approximately 1 revolution in each direction. If the green LED does not come on during that first turning procedure, then we were going to remove the frequency adjustment jumpers which are adjacent to the tuning capacitor. So let's try it first with the standard settings as it comes out of the packet. Pressing and holding my original remote, pressing and holding down a button on the PTX, and gradually turning the frequency tuning capacitor clockwise, 1 revolution, nothing. We turn it back the other direction, still we have the green LED not coming on. So what we will do now is we will remove the jumper that's adjacent to the frequency tuning capacitor. So now that there are no jumpers whatsoever at the top of the remote control, and we'll repeat this step. Press and hold the button on the PTX, press and hold the button on your original remote control, and you'll see straight away the green LED came on the PTX and was able to copy the code with the 3 green flashes. Just to recap, we've now successfully copied the original code from our 434 megahertz remote control, and you'll hear now in the background we've actually connected an alarm system that this original remote control works with. So when I press the remote control, you hear these 2 beeps for off, 1 beep for on. The PTX, which we just copied the code from this remote control onto, however, is still not operating our product. Now the reason for that is, although we've removed the frequency adjustment jumper at the top of the remote control, the frequency is still not closely enough matched to our original remote control. So what we must now do is, whilst the PTX is in transmission mode, meaning the jumper is removed down where the battery is located, is we put our tuning tool into the frequency capacitor and press down the button on our remote control, and then very gradually turn again the capacitor clockwise and anti-clockwise until you just heard then the the alarm system respond to the press. So as you can now see, our PTX remote control is now controlling our original alarm device. What you now need to do is determine whether the range that we are getting out of this remote control is adequate for your use. The way we do this, of course, is go and do a physical test with your garage door, home alarm or vehicle security system, etc. by moving back to the furthest point to where the remote control is functional. If you wish to increase the range further, say it's working at 10-15 meters and your original remote control works much further away, then what you will do is move out of range with your PTX remote control and once again finally adjust the frequency tuning capacitor. So to recap there, go to the position where your remote control works at the furthest distance from your device. Take a few steps back. Again, this time when you press and hold your PTX remote control, it should not work your garage door or alarm. But by fine-tuning the frequency tuning capacitor, by turning it clockwise or anti-clockwise, just very slightly, you'll find that your original remote product will start working again. You can keep repeating this step until you've gained maximum range possible. The PTX program remote control can be set to transmit between 255 and 500 megahertz. The way that you make this selection is via the frequency jumpers located at the top of the remote control. If you have jumper 2 on, and the reference here is jumper 1 is the jumper close to the battery for the transmission and learning mode, jumper 2 and jumper 3. Jumper 2 being on and jumper 3 off means your remote control will transmit somewhere between 255 and 295 megahertz. If jumper 2 is off and jumper 3 is placed on, then the remote control will be transmitting between 295 and 355 megahertz.